So we're going to concentrate on two parts to this little class that we're going to do today. The first one, both of them are found under your resource tab. This is my home screen. It may look a little different than yours. There's a default setting, and then those of you who know how to come in and change this toolbar, you can change all of that. But mine looks pretty generic here. So the first place we're going to go is you go to resources. And then we're going to be dealing with MarketStats today, which is under the social media lead gen, and it's typically the second tab down. It's called MarketStats. We'll open up MarketStats. And in MarketStats, we have two sections. We have InfoSparks and we have FastStats. InfoSparks is a pretty cool tool. FastStats is typically whenever you see how the housing market is doing for the month, and you see those reports that are generated, they usually come from FastStats. I'm going to start with FastStats today because it's a little quicker, and there's not as much to it. It's pretty simple. I use FastStats quite a bit. I use it in my marketing campaigns. I use it if clients ask me or anybody asks me how the market's doing or anything like that. So we're going to start with FastStats today. So just click on where it says FastStats right here, and you open it up, and you have three options in FastStats. They're all color-coded, the local market indicator, monthly data sheets. I'll go through each one of these briefly. The big question we always get asked as realtors, how's the market doing? How's the market doing? What's going on? The question I always ask people, where do you live? Because as you can see, these are the areas that we provide data to from my real source. These are the areas where we just pull the data to put together our local market updates. But I live in Macomb County, Sterling Heights in particular, but Sterling Heights is different than Shelby, than Clinton Township, than Macomb, than everything around me. Now, you can just focus on the county you live in, but I like to kind of focus on the area I live in. So my question always is to everybody, where do you live? Because that does matter as to how the market's doing. So when you're in FastStats, you can either look at the entire MLS area, or in this case, I said Macomb County. You can either view the whole Macomb County report, or the person said they live in Sterling Heights, for example, where I live. All you have to do is click on Sterling Heights, and it automatically generates this report that you see here. You can't edit this report, you can't change the colors, you can't do any of that other stuff. And it goes back. Typically, they haven't up. Oh yeah, we've updated. It runs about a month behind. So right now we're at the middle of January. So you're going to see the December updates. The January updates don't come out till somewhere between the 12th and the 15th of February after the data is compiled. So this is just for Sterling Heights. All the areas that you click on will look the same. It's divided into two parts. You have December and year to date. So this is for the month of December in 2021 with these categories, and the month of December 2022. So as you can see, for Sterling Heights, we had new listings that went down by 16%, median price, average sale price. That's what's on this information here. And it's also divided into two parts. It's divided, I'm going to shrink it down just a little bit so you can see it a little better. It's divided into residential and condo. You can't change, like I said, you can't change this format. This form, it comes out just like that, like you see here. And then it gives you the graph on the bottom of the median sales price for residential and condo. This always looks the same every month when it comes out. So when someone wants to know what their market, how are things going in real estate, I like to try to get what market they're interested in and then get them this information for that market in particular. As you can see, and I'll kind of do it, I'll open up another one. This report will stay up here in your title bar. You come to FastStats. Let's go to Macomb Township, let's say, which is borders Sterling Heights up into the north there. If I open up that one, you can see that their new listings in Macomb actually went up in December. They went from 45 in 2021 to 66 in 2022, compared to Sterling Heights, which actually went down. Also, this side is year to date. the January report, when the January numbers come out, the year to date is only 1 month. These numbers change, they get their cumulative number as the year goes on. So your December report will always have the most amount of information because it's year to date. But again, as you can see, the new listings in Macomb County year to date went up 6% overall. And back here in Sterling Heights, year to date, they actually went down 10%. So if all I do is concentrate on the Sterling Heights number, and somebody lives in Macomb Township rather, and asks me, how's the real estate market doing? And I say, well, overall for the year, it's down 10%. And then they speak to another realtor friend of theirs and they go, hey, you know, overall the market in Macomb Township's up 6%. I'm not going to look so good. So always try to find out the market that they're interested in. And that's, if I'm going to send this, and I'll show you how to send it, I want to get them the information that they need. If they're interested in a couple of areas, then I can send them the individual reports, just like I did here. If they're looking in 2 or 3 areas, I can send them, you know, I can send them those cities specifically, save this as an attachment and send it to them. I'll show you how to do that in a minute as well. So you can go area by area. You can just view the whole Macomb County if you want to view a whole county. Remember when we looked at Sterling Heights, it was down for the year, 6%. Macomb was up for the year, 10%. But overall, year to date, Macomb County is down 4%. The average sale price in Macomb County is $264,000. It actually creeped up about 2% from last year. And in Sterling Heights, the average sale price is $302,000. So that's $40-some thousand more between the two. So again, you want to be careful what information you give out there so that you can look better when you're talking to the client. And look at Macomb. Here's Sterling Heights, it's $302,000 for the average. Macomb Township is $426,000, and Macomb County overall is $264,000. So if I just gave them Macomb County numbers and they lived in a better area of Macomb County, I'm not going to look very knowledgeable in my information. So that is the reports that you get under the local market update. You can select the areas individually here. I just like coming over and using these the individual cities here. If you, on the right side, if you want to go back, this brings up the whole MLS area. If you work in Wayne County, you have the gross points over here, all the properties in Wayne County down in here. Just click on them. Watch, some of them have little breakout areas like this. You can go back to Oakland County. Oakland County down here, this whole area here is broken out so they could label it better. So here's Madison Heights, Hazel Park, Ferndale, all the different areas here in Oakland County. Same way you can do the whole Oakland County report like we did for Macomb, or the individual ones for each city. So again, when someone asks, how's the market doing? My first question always is, what areas are you interested in? And because I don't keep all these data points in my head, I try to see if I have an email for them, or say, I'll tell you what, let me get your email address. I can send you some really good information on that. And then they give me their email address and I turn around, and when I can get near a computer, I send them this information. We covered how you can select an area. You can also select the time period. If you want to do some comparisons for yourself, you can come back and go back as far as you want. If we go to we'll go back to December of 2020, and we'll go back to Macomb County for December of 2020 and just look at the whole report. December of 2020, the new listings were 739. And if you recall, did I save that one? Oh, I may have deleted it already. We'll go back up to current. Back, and we'll go to Macomb County. So the new listings in December 2022, we had 602. And on this report, you know, you can see we had a lot more. If you want to go back and look at the historical data, I don't ever really go back a whole lot. I concentrate on moving forward. I'm just showing you that in these reports, you can go back and look at different all these different months through here. You can go back and look. I think it goes back about 3 years. So FastStats is really nice. What I do is I save what I'll do once I get a report that I like is you just save it to your desktop, create an email, and send it to somebody as an email, and just include it in the body of your email. I also use this quite a bit when I go to do my CMAs. Whenever I send somebody a comparative market analysis that I do, I always include the local market update for the area in which they live, and I use that as a talking point, and also it gives them a point of reference when I leave the CMA with them. So there's a lot you can do with these reports. Usually I don't include the overall county report, just the city in which they live, because that's what's going to affect their home price and their home value most. So I use that quite a bit. Investors that I work with, they ask me how the market is doing. I'll send them this report, you know, so that they can look at that. If you do Facebook or any other social media posts, this becomes a great page that you can put out there for people to look at, and you say, hey, here's the local market updates. If you're interested, here you go. So you can use this page quite a bit. The other information that's on this FastStats is the monthly indicator, which when you click on it, it'll be in gray. Then the only area you can see on the monthly indicator is the entire My Real Source area. We can't break it out by county. So if you click on this report, you can either click View Report here or just on the area in gray overall. This is the monthly indicator. There's a whole bunch of quick facts in here. It's a nice report. It breaks it down into these key metrics over here on the left, and it gives you a little bar graph that goes with it. Same information, but it's we have 12 the month here, and then the year to date here. This is month to month comparison. This is year to date comparison. This is a good report if you're somebody who really gets into understanding numbers, or if you have a client who really likes numbers and data. This is a great report you can print out and send to them. If you just want to, this is something because it is individual pages. You don't have to send the condo market overview to them. You can just send the residential market to them. And then the new listing, you know, you have all this information in here based on all those metrics. You have the individual pages, so you can send somebody the whole report. I make it a habit to look at this report a couple times during the year just to kind of see visually. I'm a visual guy to see how everything's going. I like this. Historical days on market, you can see that they're in, you know, how they're trending down here. Median sales price, a lot of really good information is in this report, and that is the monthly indicators, and as it says here, an overview of key real estate trends for the whole, that's for the whole MLS area. The third report we have is what they call the monthly data sheet. That'll turn green, and again, it's an entire MLS area, our My Real Source area. You can't break it down by individual counties or cities like you could in the local market update. So to see what this report looks like, if you select this, here we go. Oh, we'll click on that. I'm just going to close out some of these. What's nice about this is it gives you all the areas for the that we service, that we pull our data from alphabetically. So if somebody wants to compare multiple counties, they can. If you have somebody moving into the area and they're not sure if they want to be on the east side, west side, down by St. Clair Shores or whatever, in those individual counties in the area, you can give them this information and they can see what's going on. Listing and sales summary report broken down by county here. So if you're somebody who deals with a client that deals with multiple counties, this is an excellent report to give them so they can see how the counties compare to each other. It's just a quick 2-page report that compares the counties and then these 5 areas up top. Go back here to FastStats. So again, that's under FastStats. We have the local market update. This is the report I use the most. I use market update quite a bit. taking you back takes you to the overall area. You can do the entire MLS area like we did for the other reports if you want, or you can select the individual counties and then the individual municipalities within those counties. Again, it's a great tool to include the page in your CMAs if you're doing it, or just to know the information as it changes. I focus on Sterling Heights a lot. That's where I sell most of my property. So this is the numbers that I kind of keep in my head on a regular basis that I can throw out when I'm talking to people if need be. So that's the first part of what we're doing today. Under resources, it's called MarketStats. The first part under MarketStats, oh, sorry. Was FastStats. Okay, we are going now. I got too many tabs open here. Let me close some of them. Under resources and MarketStats, we went to FastStats last time. We're going to InfoSparks. InfoSparks is what this system defaults to when you open it up. This is a really, really super powerful tool that allows you to compare up to 4 different areas against all these categories that you can see down below here. It's pretty simple to do. This is something I use often as well, depending on if I have someone that wants to know multiple areas. I got a client right now who's looking in 3 or 4 different cities. So I don't send him the individual FastStats. That would be 4 separate emails, 4 separate pages. What I send him is I send him this report for him to look at. And there's a lot you can do with this report under InfoSparks. The first thing is up here at the top, you can see the areas you want to look. Right now it only shows 1 tab. So to enter an area in the first tab, just move your cursor up here, select that. You can either do the drop downs or you can just start typing. And the first one, Sterling Heights, and select that. The next city I want to come to add another area, just move to the right where it says add an area, select that, and it opens up another tab. The good thing about InfoSparks when you're in it is as you open a tab and you'll see the 4 tabs, each tab has a different color code on top, which corresponds with the color code on the graph down here, and also the kind of the summary information on the far right. The second area we're going to look at, we're going to go Clinton Township. Now, if you notice when you start typing in, there are 3 Clinton Townships. Macomb County, and in my real source, Macomb County is designated as 50. So you want the Clinton Township that starts with 50. That'll be the one in Macomb County. If you use this Clinton Township, it won't be right. And if you use this one, it won't be the one compared to Sterling Heights. So we're going to use Clinton Township. And Macomb, that was the other one I said. You just come to the right, select the tab, start typing, or use the drop-down menu. I like to use the typing method. It's easier than trying to scroll through everything. As you see here, Macomb County came up and Macomb Township. Macomb Township starts with the 50 designator. That's the one we want because it's in Macomb County. And the last one will be Shelby Township. Select the tab, start typing, and you'll get Shelby Township right there. So as you can see, automatically, you have the 4 different tabs, Sterling, Clinton, Macomb, and Shelby, and the color codes match down below with the tabs. Now, within each tab, we're going to start over here with Sterling Heights. You can set a custom price range if you have somebody, or leave it at all the price range. You can set the property type. All this information you can come in and select to customize the report. The arrow on the far right takes you to the other areas you can look for. So if you don't, right now my client is only interested in residential, so I'm going to select residential. And if you want to create a price range, because we don't want everything in there, you select custom for price range. I clear all this out because there's some predefined price ranges in there, but they're not consistent across the different tabs. So what I do is I clear this out, and we say we're going to be 300 to 400,000. So 399. We'll make it 300 to 400,000. Select done, and that gives you the custom range for residential properties in Sterling Heights. The problem becomes there's no universal way to set all these tabs, so you have to go through and do this 3 times. You want to make sure the tab you're working in is, see how these are grayed out? So to go to Clinton Township, we're working in Clinton Township now. We're going to customize the same thing, and it will be done. And residential, we're going to select residential. We want that selected. Macomb Township, the tab highlighted. Come over here to custom. It's going to take the original one we put in, and then select done, that we put in under Sterling Heights. And we want residential as well. And we're going to do the same here for Shelby Township. Select custom for the price range. We got that 300 to 399. Select done. And we want residential. So based on all that, this is what my client's looking in the area they're looking in. For instance, if you had that price range, and here's the average price in homes in those price range. Why it's crunching the number. The average prices in these areas show up over here on the far left. The number of the sale price for the median and the average is based on the overall area. That has nothing to do with this number. Where that'll show up is for new listings. It's not taking the information. Why did it not take it? For the price range there. And it's showing the residential. And what it'll do is it'll compare, once you set it up, the chart automatically defines the information and puts it down below here in this chart form. You can look at the number of homes for sale. And you can see that over year by year, it's been trending down, the number of homes for sale. And the unique thing is, as you move your cursor across the chart, you can see that the data keeps changing. Pending sales, you can see all these different ones, closed sales for these areas, these 4 areas. You have different items that you can do for each one of these if you want. There are different ways to look at it. We have a line graph. And under the line graph, you have a number of years you can look at. You can go 1 year back, 3 years back, 5 years, 10 years. So here's the 10-year trend for all of them. You can see up here was near a high. And you can just look at this information here over 10 years. And then you have the way it is calculated. It can be each data point is 1 month of activity, or it defaults to rolling, where each data point is 12 months of activity, but it's rolling. You'll see if I go to each data point is 1 month of activity, when I go to monthly, how much these charts change. You see a lot more ups and downs here because each data, it's not a rolling thing. You can see actually, it's probably the beginning of the year. It seems like it dips down every year, and middle of the year, the numbers come way up across the board in all 3 areas. The trends are all the same. And that's going back 10 years. And here's a 5-year chart for the same thing. You can go back 1 year. Here's our summer high. Here's our winter, February, March lows, and then it peaks up again. That's under a line graph. You also can do the same thing by selecting bar graph. We went back 1 year for the bar graph. If I go back on a bar graph, you can only go back 3 years. That's the max. This is a little easier for some people to see on the bar graph. It shows we'll go back here to number of new listings. Not only does it give you the data point, but it gives you the value above it, so it's a little easier to see. I'll move my cursor out of the way. Back in new listings, back here in 2020, you had 100. You can see the numbers a lot easier because it's generated across the top there, and it gives you the change right here along the bottom as well. So the bar graph, even though it only goes back 3 years, it gives you a better visual representation for the data points that you're looking at. The sales price, the average sales price, right here, because average is highlighted, you can see for 2020, 21, and 2022 with the not only the information at the top, but over at the bottom as well, where you don't quite get that when you're with the line graph. The line graph, the information is just there, and you have to move your cursor to see what each one of those individual points are. So that's under the bar graph. One other thing I want to mention that is new, if you're selecting an area, let's say you want to go different areas, and we don't want Shelby Township, you want to go into the gross points. Come back here and start with gross point. Originally, we did not have the ability to break out the individual gross point cities, but now if you start typing in gross point for your tab, you had all the gross points was the only availability we had here under InfoSparks. They now added that you can do the farm, shores, and woods. So let's just do that for those of you who work in the area that want to see how the individual ones look. If you want to compare them, what do we have? The first one is farms. We'll go to park, and then we'll go to shores. Shores, and then we'll put wood in here, woods. So you can, if you work in that area or you have clients in that area and they kind of want to know what it's like in those different areas, the format we're gonna we're in the bar graph right now, 3-year bar graph, monthly data point, year to date. That's how it looks year to date in the bar graph situation for the average sales price. As you can see in the farms, which is blue, it's 485. In the park, which is green, 438. In the shores is 664. In the woods is 294. And it stays pretty consistent throughout over the years that the farms in the park run about the same price. Obviously, the shores is more pricier, and the woods is kind of lagging behind the other two. You can quickly change it to a line graph if you want and select, come over here and select line, and it will take you right to there. Before, we didn't have the option of the different gross points. We only had the gross point area. The same as before, you can go to the monthly data points, which each one of these is a monthly data point. You can see the shores had a big spike for some reason around February of 2021. And again, they had another big spike. Average price, they must have had some big homes that sold then around March. Same thing, number of new listings. This is the one I like to look at sometimes myself, shows to pending and shows per listing. We'll go shows per listing. As you can see, this was, if you were showing homes back in April, May, and June, you could really see that that's when we were getting crazy with all the home showings coming up. Properties were being listed. We had a lot of people coming in. We were getting offers right away. This is a good one to see that, as you can see, the number of home sales has been, our number of showings per listing has been trending down. Granted, it's still for the gross points. I can come back and we'll change it out of the gross points, and we'll go to those 3 communities. Again, I'll just show you Shelby in this area. Clinton, get the right Clinton Township. Just for those of you that work in this part of Macomb County. And what was the last one? Sterling Heights. Sterling Heights. You can see the shows per listing. And this was a hot time right there. I remember taking clients and having open houses. It was just kind of crazy. It's come way down. The other one I like to look at is shows to pending. And as you can see, the average number of shows to when pending has also come down as well. And as you can, days on market is a good one to look at as well. Days on market is starting to trend upwards, which means the homes are staying on the market a little longer. In December, homes in those 3 areas, if you look to the chart that pops up right to the left of my cursor, they were staying on market, for instance, in Shelby Township at 32 days. Down here, they were staying on Shelby Township an average of 7 days. Sorry, that was the median. Average will be slightly different. My bad. They were staying on market in October a little bit, 45 days, and they've come back down to 39 days in December. Way down here when things were selling like hotcakes, they were around 15 days. So that's what you can get from all this information. So now that you, the agent, can sit there and play with this all day and see all this information, how do you get it to your client? Because that's what's really, really valuable. The way you can get it to your client is pretty simple. You just come up here to you can print this out if you want, or you can share it. Now, when you go to share it, you have several different ways you can share it. The first is you got to select which way you would like to share it, static or live. Static is what I use when static is whenever you send somebody this information, whether they open it now, a month from now, or 6 months from now, that information is going to stay for the data collected for this period in time. So I just had an investor who wanted to see a couple areas. I emailed him the 4 areas that he's interested in. I said, here's what's going on through December of 2022. Now, if he opens that after the new data comes out in February for some reason, the numbers would change. It's not going to affect what I sent him because I sent it to him as static. If I send it to him as live, then whenever he opens this chart, whether it's now or a month from now or 6 months from now, those numbers will change based on the current data for the time period in which he opens it. Live is a very good one if you want to throw something out on Facebook and put a post up there that says, hey, if you want to know how the markets are going for in your area, click here. But if you're going to make it specific and say, hey, if you want to know how your markets are doing through December, select, click below, you want to set that out as static because you don't want somebody finding that post in March and clicking on it, and it's going to give them all the current update. It'll be inaccurate. So if you're going to leave it out there as an open-ended that anybody can click on it at any time, you want the wording you want to send it as a live to your Facebook post. If it's going to be specific for a time frame, then you want to select static. So we're going to leave it at static for right now because it doesn't matter for the purposes I'm showing you. Then the other things you can do is how do you want to share it? You can select it as a PDF, social media. You can embed this information in your blog or your website. So in that case, because you're going to embed it in a blog or website, you would want to keep it live. Or you can select CSV to grab the raw data to put in an Excel spreadsheet or something like that. We're going to leave it at social media and email right there, and it's going to be a static graph. So what you do is select share. It gives you the link. You can view this in the new window or cut and copy and paste and copy. And I'm going to go off screen real quick, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to put it in an email to myself so we can open it. 1 second. And then you will see what that looks like. I'm composing the email right now. I don't need to see you guys see me type to. So we're going to put it right in an email, just like you would any other email. You create a subject and then just a subject and a who it's to, and then you just paste it in there. Okay, now we got it right. And it's just a simple copy and paste. And then we'll send it off. And then I'll open up the email so you can see what it looks like when somebody gets it. All right. This part's a little cumbersome. My apologies. So now I'll open the email. I'll drag that in. I'm going to switch my screens real quickly. It didn't come through yet, so we're going to wait on that. Anyways, when it comes through, there it is. It came through. So let me switch my screens. Oops, just lost my screen. Sharing. Screen one. So I'll move this out of the way. As you can see, it's right here. This is how the email came. It comes branded from you. I put in MarketStats, didn't copy it real. I spelled it wrong. This is what they're going to see. You select that email, you open it up. Here is that information I just copy and pasted, and this is how the page looks. The nice thing is it's going to come to you. It's going to come from you. If you have your photograph loaded up in here, it'll load. It tells my name, my real estate company, gives my contact information, and here's the graph right here. And it's average days on market. Now, when the email comes, they don't have the ability to select any of those other items we had on the bottom. It only is that market that you sent them, or that tab that we send them. So it's average days on market. But here's the good thing is they move their cursor across. They get this, they can see this information right here for themselves, which is kind of cool. And this won't ever update. If they open this same email, 2 months from now, they're going to see the same information. You have, as the cursor moves, you have the color coded right there that says the different communities, as well as down here on the bottom. So let me go back to my other screen. Let me go back. Sharing. Oh, we want to go back to screen 2. Okay. So the unfortunate thing is if you want to send them the average sale price and the days on market, you're going to have to send 2 separate emails to them. But the way they get it is really nice. It comes branded from you. It's a good email to open up. My clients seem to like it a lot when I send them this. Just make sure your criteria before you send it is how you want the criteria to be. If you want to do it in a line graph or a bar graph, the number of years out, the data points, you can do all that, because when you go to share it, it's going to share what you have here. Similarly, if you share something on Facebook, if you take the same link and you post it on your social media, it's going to share whatever is on the screen that you have here. So make sure you got your criteria set up the way you want it. I talked earlier about your information. You can find that for your profile. Here's where you can upload your picture. Make sure your email is correct, cell phone number, anything like that. Sometimes if you switch brokerages or if you have to switch an email, you have to notify My Real Source to get them to change some of this information. The picture you do yourself. Just go back and check that to make sure everything's the way you want it. In there, that sometimes the information doesn't get carried in there, and My Real Source will get it for you. But here's where you see your information and how to get your photo in there on InfoSpark, so that when somebody gets something, real quickly, I'm going to take. Now I went out, so when I came back, you can't save this information. Like, you can't save your searches. You have to do everything. You have to go through the steps each time you come into here. What I want to send an email real quickly, so you can see what it looks like in bar graph form. What that email and bar graph looks like when we send it out, so you can see the difference between Macomb Township. This time we're going to do the bar graph. It looks the same. We're going to do average price, sales price for those 3 areas. We're going to do it in the bar graph. We're going to share it. We're going to share it as a static, social media and email. Here's the link. Cut and copy it, or you can open it in a new window. We're going to close that. I'll send my email real quick. And average price. We'll paste that into my email. And then we'll be able to send it. Oh, sorry. One more thing I got to do here. It's hard with 2 screens here. And then you'll be able to see how how bar graph looks compared to the bar graph compared to the line graph when we got it. Same thing. I'm going to open up my email. So I'm going to change my screen again so you can see. Here's my email now you should be looking at. Here's the average price email that just came in. We're going to open that up. Here's our link. Same thing as before. Now here's what the bar graph looks like, okay? Branded to me. Similarly, as you move across, you'll get the information there. They can share this page on any one of their social medias that they want to, which is really cool if they feel like doing that, if they're going to help you out and do that. And here was the days on market. So that's what the line graph looks like, and here's what the bar graph looks like when it comes to somebody. It's a great visual tool to send to people, that they want to get the information on. So so you have a couple of options when someone asks how my market is doing. You can either send it through them via the single page under FastStats, or you can generate a couple areas under InfoSparks and send it to them in either the bar graph, which it summarizes the information at top and down below, or you can do it via a line graph, which allows them as they move their cursor across, it gives them the data point. Either one of these you can also embed on your Facebook page. Just copy that link on the Facebook. They typically say when you do a Facebook post, you want 3 quick sentences, tell them what it is, a call to action, and why they need it. And you put a very short little blurb in there on your Facebook page. And when the people who visit your Facebook page select that, they will get this information. And for those of you that have your own website and want to embed this on the website, the same thing. You can say, click here for your local market updates, and you can get all that information. There is one other place I want to show you where you can get all this information, surprisingly. We've been getting this by going through resources and MarketStats through Paragon. The other way you can get this is if you go on your phone, if you have the Showing Time app. I'm opening it through Paragon, but you can do it through Showing Time. My app on the Showing Time, remind me later. It's over here where it says Reports. MarketStats. So if you go into Showing Time, on the far left where when you do the drop-down menu for information, you select MarketStats, it's going to take you to that same page we were just at. So you have a couple of ways to get to this. If you're sitting somewhere and someone asks you that, like at a, if you got kids that play sports and you're at a sporting event or some event similar, and someone says, hey, how's the market doing? You say, what area? You can do the same thing. Go through Showing Time. If you have the app, it's pretty quick. Go through Showing Time, get the drop-down menu, and go to MarketStats. It brings you right here. Go to FastStats. Works the same on your phone. Select Macomb County, Shelby Township, and then you can take this and send that directly to them if you want. So you have 2 ways to get to this information. You can do it through Paragon, or you can do it through Showing Time. It's available on there. I was an agent teaching for a year or 2 before I remembered that you can get to MarketStats through Showing Time, which is a really quick way to get to that as well. To InfoSparks through Showing Time. So a couple other things I'm gonna touch on here, and then wrap up, and we'll be about done. I'm gonna give a quick summary of how to get to everything. It all starts from your from your My Real Source homepage under Resources, Social Media, MarketStats. Within MarketStats, you have 2 options, which are InfoSparks or FastStats. That's the 2 that you really want to use. FastStats are the ones that you go in and you can select the individual city within a county and generate the report. InfoSparks are the ones that allows you up to 4 areas if you want to compare them. You don't have to, you can just do one. And you can also do it by zip codes too, as well. If I want to put in 48314, it'll take just that zip code. Sterling Heights has 3 zip codes. Maybe you just want to do individual zip codes within a different area, one city. You can do that as well. So it takes the information, either you can put in a municipality, it just takes a little longer to load, or you can put in a specific zip code. That's found under InfoSparks. You can show it as a line graph or a bar graph. The information, bar graph allows you to go back 10 years. A line graph allows you to go back 10 years, a bar graph does not. And then you can share the information via static or live. Live, every time the information is updated month to month to month, your report will update if someone clicks on that link. And you can do it as a PDF, embedded, or CSV. You can share it in any one of those ways. Those are the different ways that you can share the information through InfoSparks, which are in here. So that's kind of the summary of the class. I'm gonna, and also the last other thing, you can always get to all this information through your Showing Time app. If you have Showing Time on your phone, which most realtors do, and you don't want to log into Paragon or anything else, you want to get information quickly off your phone, just go into Showing Time and get it. But if you're in Paragon and you want this information, that's where you get it. It's really good. I use it quite a bit. I send these reports to my clients all the time just to keep them informed. I use it as part of my marketing campaign where I stay in touch with my clients. I try to reach out to them with information once a month or so. This is part of the email that I send out. I know where my clients live, so obviously I send them the ones that pertain to their community to let them know if they live in a certain community. I got clients, one in Troy, so I'll send him just how Troy is doing, and other ones in Rochester Hills, and all over. I select the community and send those emails out to those individual people. So that they get them. It takes me a little bit of time, but it's pretty good if you want to send it out. I don't want to do a mass emailing of a whole bunch of people, just for one county, because as you saw, if you select just a county, there are a lot of differences that go on in there. Again, I use FastStats when I prepare a CMA. It is one of the pages. If you've ever seen me do a CMA class, I say I include the FastStats page. If you don't know how to get to that, take this class and we show you. That's where I get that from. So there's a lot you can do with that information found right here under MarketStats. Finally, the last thing I'm going to touch on here is a little bit on our home page here. As you can see from the home page up here in this bluish bar, you have different ways you can go to what we have. For My Real Source, the biggest thing is this YouTube channel right here. The box for YouTube, if you select that, it automatically takes you over to the YouTube channel once it loads up. And here's the My Real Source YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed already, we ask that you subscribe. I've subscribed. The more people we can get to like and subscribe our pages, the better off it is for My Real Source. Here is where Debbie takes all these seminars that we have here, or these training sessions. She breaks them down into videos. She edits them up. She does a great job with it. So you can find something here. There are other trainers teach similar classes. I know I'll log in to see what other trainers are saying, just to kind of see what they're talking about, because we all have our unique way of doing things and we all know different little tips and tricks. And by seeing what somebody else has, I'm going to pick up more information myself. So instead of hanging out on Facebook and TikTok and being bored, come here and grab some of these videos that we have and just go through those quickly. You can on the My Real Source page, don't go up top here like I did. That takes you to YouTube. If you come to the search magnifying glass here on My Real Source page, then you can type in what it is you want to find. So if you type in CMA, and then it should bring up videos on all our CMAs right here. Okay. So you can find information in here. Debbie, there was another. Here we have the home for the My Real Source page. There's Colleen. She's doing one on Transaction Desk. So if you're watching something in a video on a seminar, any of our webinars, and you maybe zoned out during a segment that somebody taught, you can go back and usually that's edited in there and you can just watch that segment if you want. We have our different playlists right here. Select on that. Here are a whole bunch of webinars here that you can go through that tells you if you want something, everything on Showing Time. They're grouped right here. You can see Showing Time. MarketStats and InfoSparks, there are 16 videos in here you can look at. So this is where you can find a lot of information on the My Real Source YouTube page. We'll go back here to the home page for My Real Source. Debbie mentioned at the beginning of the class that there were a couple of handouts that she passed out. Any handouts that she passes out, or any ones that you got in the past that you would like to, for some reason, view again, up to the top left in this thin dark blue bar up here, it says MLS documents. Open up that. And down here under My Real Source Education, under My Real Source MLS folder, if you select the Education folder, here are all the handouts that we have here. You can click on any of these and open them up. You know, on Collab Center, all this stuff is right here. Cloud CMA, here's the, if you're doing CMAs, you can open up here. Here was the one if you took a Cloud CMA class. Here's Debbie's, the generated ones that we have there for you to look at, the generated forms. I'll go back here. I can type in here MarketStats, and it should pull me up. MarketStats new area, MarketStats combining two different locations, MarketStats for lead gen. And here is a brief handout on how you can use MarketStats if you want something to look at that you want to look at and read. And that was found through our MLS documents in the top bar there, and under My Real Source Education forms. Close out of that. And lastly, if you, on this other thin bar right here, just for those of you who aren't familiar, if you select the MLS tab right here, it'll bring up the calendar for My Real Source for MLS, and it'll give you some quick links over here, including one if you want to sign up for training or anything like that. That's all in here. Our class schedule is right here, where you can see everything that's coming out. Select one of those and you can register for the classes. And this is all the stuff that pertains to My Real Source. A little bit of information in here. The 2022 recap is a video you can watch. But this is where you find My Real Source information, is opening up this thin little tab right there. That wraps it up for this class. It's a class that usually runs a little longer if we have students in the classroom asking questions. It's kind of hard to ask questions in this format. I recognize that. This is going into MarketStats, and learning to use InfoSparks and FastStats are two really, really good tools that are super easy to use. Probably within, I would say, 20 minutes of you just playing around and seeing how everything works on each one of them, you'll have some pretty powerful information that you can include in your CMAs and your marketing programs and your programs that you use Client Connect to stay in touch with your clients, in your drip campaigns, in your Facebook or social media posts. There's all that information is available right here, and it's kind of quick and easy to learn and do. So this is one class I would really take the time to understand how it works so that you can use this information and know it. I make it a point of looking at this information once a month as an agent. It's kind of what I do, being a full-time real estate agent. I want to know how the numbers are trending in the areas that I predominantly work in. And so I make it a point to look at it so I have a general idea of what is going on. It also forces me, in my own way, it's kind of like work and a task I have to do at work, to go into these systems and look at them and pull up the data and actually look at it, and not rely on me getting the information from an email. My broker sends out the same information. So there are some mortgage companies that I deal with that send out, they're all sending me that information, but I want to go in and practice using the tools that I have, and I want to practice looking at the information on a monthly basis when it's updated, so I can kind of understand what's going on. I mean, you can have the best hammer in the world, but if you never pull it out of your toolbox, it's going to do you no good. These are two great tools that you have in your toolbox that, if you get to learn them and understand the way the markets are trending, they're great tools. So that, Debbie, unless you have something else you want to add, that wraps it up for this class. It is a shorter class. I appreciate everybody dialing in today to listen. And hope everyone is, doing well as we start getting out of winter and start, March is right around the corner, in April, and pretty soon we're going to be selling in another, 60, 90 days. The market's really going to start picking up from where it's at now as we get out of the winter. Debbie, you want to add any last thoughts?
I love it. I think you covered everything. I think I might want to add a new piece to it. It's going to be a tricky piece though, because you can pull up MarketStats in showing time, like you said, but you can also do it on your phone. So I have been able to display my phone in the GoToWebinar. Maybe sometimes something I might want to look on adding to the end of your class. All right. Well, thank you again, Chris. Always appreciate you teaching for us.
Thank you, and thank you guys for dialing in. And with that, Deb, I'm going to end the webinar.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.